Wonder Soup at Masi's. Reverend Koeh Masi and his family lived in Tokyo, Japan while the Second World War was raging. Just 2 cups of rice and an egg left. What do I do to make supper? The mother thought hard and whispered her plan to the eldest daughter, who assembled the siblings and gave the order. Let's go hunting. For what? Green amaranth and purslane. It's cloth gathering, not hunting. Anyway, there are delicacies to be found in the grass. Pork rind, tail, and liver, a bunch of wild herbs. Smells so good. The children closed in on the stove. Well, why don't you try some? The mother ladled out 8 hot bowls of wonder soup. The father came home with a few others in tow. Who are they? The children inquired. Students from Formosa. They speak Hakka, said the father. Young and old all sat against the wall to eat their wonder soup. The bowls piled high, the bowls warmly filled. Then the father took out a Bible written in PFS and said in Hakka, "Let us listen to God's words." So they read and sang and prayed together. When the war broke out, the Japanese police turned their eyes on Masi. They suspected Masi to be a spy because he had studied in the United States. To the station house now, the policeman hollered. The station house? Will they lock up Masi? Dad, are you coming back? Cried the eldest daughter. Fear not. Have faith in Lord Jesus, replied the father. One evening, thunderous noise roared from the sky. 100 of bombers had come. Smoke and explosion could be seen from afar. Tokyo turned into a sea of fire overnight. The father and the mother took their 8 children to safety. The older boys have to evacuate with their school teachers, the mother declared. What about us? The others asked. We'll stay with a friend of mine in Hokkaido, the father said. Hokkaido? That was hours and hours of train journeys away. Worry not, have faith in Lord Jesus, replied the father. In Hokkaido, Masi and his family took refuge in a chapel by the ocean. Just some beans and half a bulb of garlic. What do I do to make supper? The mother thought hard and whispered her plan to the eldest daughter, who assembled the sisters and gave the order. Let's go hunting. For what? Seaweed, kelp, and fish heads. All right, I'll chase the gulls away while you pick them. Fish heads, seaweeds, and kelp. A spoonful of miso. Smells so good. The children closed in on the stove. Well, why don't you try some? The mother ladled out 4 hot bowls of wonder soup. The father returned with Rev Fujita in tow. Fujita managed the chapel. There's a church in Yonezawa on Honshu where you may be closer to the boys, he said. Looked like the Greys were on the move again. Young and old all sat along the pews to eat their wonder soup. The bowls piled high, the bowls warmly filled. Then the father took out a Bible written in kanji and kana and said in Japanese, "Let us listen to God's words." So they read and sang and prayed together. Masi and his family moved into the church at Yonezawa. Just a bundle of vegetables left. What do I do to make supper? The mother thought hard and whispered her plan to the eldest daughter, who assembled the sisters and gave the order. Let's go hunting. For what? Locust. Say again. Well-fed locust, vegetables chopped to bits. The children closed in on the pot, but were too afraid to watch. The mother ladled out 20 or so hot bowls of wonder soup. I guess we'll wait for everybody to show up. The father returned, the older sons as well. The family of 10 rejoiced. There were still some who were tagged along. Who are they? The children inquired. Students from Formosa. They are homeless and hungry, said the father. Young and old all sat down to eat their wonder soup. The bowls piled high, the bowls warmly filled. Then the father took out a Bible written in POJ and said in Taiwanese, "Let us listen to God's words." So they read and sang and prayed together. The wretched war was finally over. Japan and Formosa were now different countries. "Are we ever going home?" asked the students fretfully. "Dread not, have faith in Lord Jesus," replied Maise. The Allied headquarters of occupation invited Maise to preside over a Thanksgiving service during a decoration ceremony. "Love your enemies, and you shall bear witness to the Lord Jesus Christ," he told the officers present, and to General Douglas MacArthur. "Formosa needs help. Please arrange for a transport ship to take the students home." The setting sun, the grey sky, the heavy ocean. For 6 days, Maise and his family rocked on the big boat. Maise led them, the students, and the sailors in prayers, Bible study, and songs. The wind was strong and the waves high, splashing into the cabins. "When are we coming to shore?" asked the children anxiously. "How will Formosa turn out after the war?" discussed the pensive students on board. "May the Lord Jesus be with us," Maise said, unruffled. In Taipei, Maise and his family settled in Zhongshan Church. Every Saturday, the children would clean the garden and sweep the chapel's floors, and the mother would prepare a large cauldron of wonder soup with the best ingredients. On Sundays, the space they called home became a drawing room, a dining area, hosting Bible studies for adults and Sunday schools for the young. Japan ruled Formosa was handed over after the war to Kuomintang, who soon had to withdraw from China. They were suspicious of every civilian gathering, so there were always a few rifle-wielding policemen posted around Zhongshan Church. With all the guns outside, who would dare to come? Some asked. But people came anyway. Mountain Aborigines who lived in the city came for services in Japanese. Jewish American soldiers came for Tanakh studies. Western missionaries who fled from China came for spirited arguments with Maise on German translations of the Bible. The hungry, the ragged cloth, the orphan, all came to Maise. Gratitude, peace, and joy is Maise's motto, for in God's embrace there are no races and no borders, only infinite love. People would quarrel, fight, and get hurt, but at Koeh Maise's, they read, sang, and prayed together in the Lord's Word together, and ate their wonder soup.